Immediately, I started, tears were getting streamed down my face. Whoever done this, I pray that that God will forgive them.
18-year-old Wanita Gibson told her mother she was going to the store and would be right back, and was caught on camera walking out the door. However, she was found dead in a river 2 months later, 40 miles from home, with no phone, no money, and no explanation that anyone has been able to give her family. And the detail that her father shared in his interview, the one about what she was like in the days before she left, is the part of this story that should keep you up at night.
She was scared. She was scared in her heart, and she had a lot going through her mind, and what she was doing is isolating herself from the issue.
Before we get to that, let me take you back to who Wanita was, because she deserves more than just a headline. Wanita was born on August 15, 2007, in St. Louis, Missouri, and she grew up in the Baden neighborhood on the north side of the city, in a home on Portland Terrace where she lived with her mother.
Subscribe. Right now, we got all the babies, boys. Ready? Yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8. No. I don't say the name.
She was a senior at Marquette High School in the Rockwood School District, which is in West St. Louis County, a long distance from where she lived, and that tells you something about the kind of student and family she was. Wanita went to church every Sunday and sang in the choir next to her mother.
She loved Jesus. She loved going to church.
She once came home with a cat named Pluto sitting on her shoulder because she had found it and decided on the spot that it needed saving.
She came home and told me one time she had him on her shoulder. She loved him. She loved all these babies.
Her mother, Tanika Patterson, described her as a shadow, meaning she was always there, always close, always nearby. She had 2 dogs and 2 cats that she treated like her own children and called all of them her babies. Her father, Keith Gibson Jr., called her his princess and his daddy's girl.
I call her Baby Bear. She called me Mama Bear. So she was like my little cub.
She was daddy's girl. She was my princess. I call her my princess.
He said her life touched so many people, and the way he says it, you believe him completely.
She was a very touching person, and her heart, and she was a woman of God too.
So when this young woman who had never given anyone a reason to worry about her suddenly walked out the door one December afternoon and did not come back, the people who loved her knew right away that something had gone very wrong. Here is what the cameras caught. At around 5 in the afternoon on December 22, 2025, the family's Ring doorbell camera recorded Wanita leaving the house.
She came in the house, we saw her. Saw her for a split second. She said she was going to the store.
What the family did not know at that moment was that she had left without her phone, without any money, and without extra clothes. Those details only became clear later, and when they did, everything started to look very different. More cameras picked her up shortly after. She walked to a metro bus stop near North Broadway and Riverview, got on a southbound bus, and got off near Carr and Broadway in downtown St. Louis.
We got a couple images of her walking down 2nd Street, and that was the last that we got.
Her mother later went back and watched the bus stop footage and realized that Wanita had stood there and waited for a while before the bus came, long enough that, if anyone had known she was there, they could have gone to get her.
And she waited there for a while. I'm like, we could have called her. Had we known, you know? So that's what I'm upset about. I would have went after her and got her and brought her back.
She did not come home that night. She missed work and stopped responding to anyone. And because none of that was normal for her, her family went to the police on December 24th, 2 days after she disappeared. And the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department classified her as an endangered missing person, which is the label police use when they believe the person missing may be in real danger.
And that breaking news coming to us from Missouri City tonight. At this hour, police dive teams are at the scene of a search for a missing person. Channel 2's Brittany Jeffers just arrived at that scene. So, Brittany, what have you learned?
We're gathering details right now, but we have learned that Missouri City Police say that this call came in about a missing person late this afternoon. Now, as you mentioned, this is a joint effort right now. Missouri City Police, fire, as well as dive teams are out here. If you look in the distance, you can see some of those crews. We were told they're searching the water as well as surrounding properties tonight.
We're searching the Stafford Run Canal area, and we want to make sure that we cover this area as comprehensively as possible to again confirm whether or not this alleged missing person is in fact accurate or not.
Again, they are still trying to figure out all of the details to this case. The search, however, I'm told has been going on for several hours now. No word on how long that this will go into the evening. We're going to stay out here. We'll be bringing you any updates as soon as we learn more. Live here in Missouri City, I'm Brittany Jeffers, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Not someone who simply chose to leave. That was 2 days before Christmas. On December 30th, police posted a public notice describing her as 5 feet 7 inches tall, 120 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes, last seen in a white hooded sweatshirt with a pink pattern on the left sleeve and gray sweatpants. They asked the public to call if they saw her and directed any information to the Missing Persons Unit. By late January, Crime Stoppers had joined the effort and set up an anonymous tip line, noting that a reward could be added if the case turned into a criminal investigation.
Know that you will remain anonymous by reaching out to Crime Stoppers. If you have any information, please reach out to Crime Stoppers.
People shared her picture online. Community groups posted her alerts, but weeks went by and nothing came back. Now, here is the part that changes the whole story, because in the days before Wanita walked out that door, her father had already noticed that something was not right with her.
He just took off, and she was scared. She was scared in her heart, and she had a lot going through her mind, and what she was doing is isolating herself from the issue.
He did not say what the issue was, and it is possible he genuinely did not know all of it. But what he described is a young woman who was pulling away from people around her, who looked afraid, who was carrying something she had not shared with anyone. Whatever was going on in Wanita's life in those final days before December 22nd, she was dealing with it alone. And then she walked out without her phone, without her money, and did not come back. For 56 days, Wanita Gibson was simply gone, with no sign of her anywhere. After that last camera image in downtown St. Louis, her family was living through the kind of pain that has no name, hoping every single day for one answer while quietly preparing themselves for another. Then, on the morning of February 16th, 2026, at around 8:30, workers on a barge spotted a body in the Mississippi River near River Cement Road, just south of Festus in Jefferson County, Missouri. Festus is about 40 miles south of St. Louis, where Wanita was last seen walking. The Missouri State Highway Patrol came to the scene, pulled the body out of the water, and transported it to the St. Louis County Medical Examiner's office. 2 days later, on February 18th, the medical examiner confirmed the identity. It was Wanita Gibson.
Heartbreak and sadness tonight for a St. Louis family of a teen missing for 2 months. Hours ago, they learned the 18-year-old's body was found this week in the Mississippi River near Festus. Only on 5 on Your Side tonight, Robert Townsend talks to her grieving parents.
You can see the shock and sadness on the faces of Wanita Gibson's parents.
I call her Baby Bear. She called me Mama Bear. So she was like my little cub.
She was Daddy's girl. She was my princess. I call her my princess.
Her family says on the afternoon of December 22nd, the Ring doorbell camera captured Gibson on video, leaving their home in North St. Louis.
She came in the house, we saw her. Saw her for a split second. She said she was going to the store.
They say Wanita walked to this Metro bus station around the corner near Broadway and Riverview.
And she waited there for a while. I'm like, we could have called her. Had we known, you know? So that's what I'm upset about. I would have went after her and got her and brought her back.
Surveillance cameras snapped photos of the 18-year-old Gibson getting on a bus and later getting off near Carr and Broadway downtown. But when she never returned home, her worried family reported her missing.
We got a couple images of her walking down 2nd Street, and that was the last that we got.
2 months later, detectives called the family and told them barge workers found their loved one's body in the Mississippi River near Festus Monday.
When I got the call this morning, I expected her there.
She loved Jesus. She loved going to church.
And Gibson especially loved her family and her 2 dogs and 2 cats.
She came home and told me one time she had him on her shoulder. She loved him. She loved all these babies.
So at this point, Gibson's family still has lots of questions surrounding her death. They're hoping once an autopsy is completed, they'll finally get the answers to what they call a painful mystery.
Only God. That's it. I know that she's with him. And I know that I see her again.
Her father described the moment that phone call came.
We found your daughter dead. I said, oh my God. Immediately I started, tears began to stream down my face. And when I got the news, I just began to break down. But I began to call on the name of Jesus.
The Rockwood School District, where Wanita had been a student at Marquette High School, put out a statement saying they were shocked and deeply saddened, and they sent counselors and support workers to the school to help students and staff who were struggling with the news. The same community that had been passing around her missing persons photo for nearly 2 months was now saying her name for a completely different reason. And still, the main question has no answer. How does an 18-year-old who was last seen on a downtown street end up dead in a river 40 miles away? As of February 2026, the autopsy results have not been made public, and no official cause of death has been given. Police have not said that foul play happened, but they have not said it did not happen either. Her father is not waiting for official statements to tell him what he already believes. He thinks something happened to Wanita after she got off that bus in downtown St. Louis, and he has said so clearly. He cannot point to proof, but when you add up the fear she was carrying in the days before she left, the fact that she walked out without a phone or money, and the distance between that last camera image and where her body was found, those things do not add up to a simple accident in his mind.
Whoever done this, I pray that that God will forgive them, but also justice will be served.
To understand why the location matters so much, it helps to know a little about how the Mississippi River moves in this part of Missouri. The current is strong through this area, and it can carry things, including a person, a long way downstream over time.
I've heard the Mississippi River is too strong to swim in, and there are a lot of factors that really make that river dangerous.
It's true, and meteorologist Alexander Cranford is taking a look at all of it for us.
Mississippi River, 4th biggest in the world by drainage area. The water it drains from 31 states and 2 Canadian provinces can create a flow at 1 million cubic feet per second. That would fill up 6 superdomes in 1 second. The current is as impressive as it is dangerous. Current is just horizontal movement of water. In 1 minute, a strong current could carry you downriver the length of a couple of football fields.
Investigators said from early on that they did not know how long the body had been in the water or where it had gone in, which means the point where she entered the river could have been anywhere along a wide stretch of water north of where she was found.
That detail matters because Wanita is not the only young person from the St. Louis area whose story ended with a body being pulled from this same stretch of river in recent months. In October 2025, 31-year-old Kaylana Sheffield from St. Louis was identified after her body was found near Hugs Landing boat ramp in Crystal City, Jefferson County, which is very close to Festus.
Investigators are still trying to figure out how a woman died after her body was discovered in the Mississippi River near Crystal City. You're looking at that map on your screen. A biologist sampling water near the Hugs Landing boat ramp spotted the body of 31-year-old Kaylana Sheffield of St. Louis last week. That's according to our partners at Leader Publications. The medical examiner did not say how long her body may have been in that water.
Her case was also left open with no cause of death released, and in September 2025, 20-year-old Brendan Krill was pulled from the Mississippi River in Missouri, with his case still not resolved. Police have not said these cases are connected to Wanita's. There has been no official statement suggesting any link between them. But 3 young people from the same area, pulled from the same river, within 1 year, with all 3 investigations still open, is something that is very hard to simply set aside. What makes Wanita's case stand apart from a simple drowning, at least in the eyes of the people who loved her, is everything that happened before she ever got anywhere near the water. Her mother holds on to her faith.
Only God, that's it. I know that she's with him. And I know that I'll see her again.
There's one detail in this story that has not gotten nearly enough attention, and it may be the most important piece of all. Wanita Gibson left home without her phone. Think about what that means for a moment. A young woman of 18 in December 2025, stepping out for what her mother understood to be a quick trip to the store, leaves behind the one thing that almost no person her age goes anywhere without. And on top of that, she left without money and without a change of clothes. All three of those details, no phone, no money, no extra clothing, were specifically flagged by investigators and family members as things that raised serious concern about her safety right from the beginning. There are only two ways to read that, honestly. Either she left in a sudden rush, the kind where you just go and do not stop to pick anything up, or she left knowing those things might not matter where she was going. Both of those possibilities point to something going on that afternoon that has nothing to do with a calm, ordinary errand. And when you add in what her father described about her state of mind in the days leading up to that moment, the picture becomes something that is very hard to look away from.
She just took off, and she was scared. She was scared in her heart, and she had a lot going through her mind, and what she was doing is isolating herself from the issue.
That is a very specific thing for a father to say, and it is not the kind of detail a person adds unless they really saw it.
What the family is waiting for right now is the hope that the autopsy will eventually tell them something concrete. They want to know if there was any sign of harm on her body. But the reality of missing persons cases in big cities like St. Louis is that the trail goes cold fast, especially when the last confirmed sighting ends at a street corner with no more cameras covering what came next.
We found your daughter dead. I said, oh my God. Immediately I started, tears began to stream down my face.
But first on Fox, an investigation is underway into a teen girl's death. Thanks for joining us for Fox 2 News at 10. I'm Max Dieknight. 2 months after a North St. Louis teen disappeared, her family is now preparing for her funeral. Tonight, her father is sharing the moment he learned that she'd been found dead. Fox 2's Taylor Harris has their story.
I spoke with her father just days after learning his daughter will not be returning home, and now he says grief is not the only thing his family is living with. Uncertainty is. And for nearly 2 months, the Gibson family searched for 18-year-old Wanita Gibson. Police say she was last seen December 22nd leaving her home, telling her mother she'd be right back. She never returned. Investigators tracked her riding metro buses downtown, and then nothing until Monday. Barge workers discovered a body in the Mississippi River near Festus. 2 days later, police called her father.
And when I got the news, I just began to break down. But I began to call on the name of Jesus.
He said he had prayed for answers, just not these.
She just took off, and she was scared. She was scared in her heart, and she had a lot going through her mind, and what she was doing is isolating herself from the issue.
Her father believes something happened after she got off the bus that night, and now the family waits for the autopsy to explain how she ended up miles away in the river. But while investigators work, he remembers the daughter behind the headlines.
She was a very touching person, and her heart, and she was a woman of God too, true woman of God. Her life touched so many lives. I'm going to miss her. That was my princess.
The family is now planning her homegoing celebration instead of a welcome home. And now her father has a message for whoever may know what happened.
Whoever done this, I pray that that God will forgive them, but also justice will be served.
Police say the investigation into Wanita Gibson's death remains active, and anyone with information is asked to contact St. Louis police. And her family says answers will not bring her back, but they said that they need them to move forward.
St. Louis City has more than 100 active missing persons cases at any given time. 100 people. And while the city has cameras on buses, cameras on streets, Ring doorbells on houses, there are still gaps in all of that.
and someone who is afraid and possibly trying to stay out of sight can disappear into those gaps very quickly. Wanita's autopsy will come back eventually, and the investigation will move or it will not. But until then, say her name, Wanita Gibson. What do you think about this case? Do you think there's some kind of foul play, or Wanita was running from something that only she knew deeply? Let me know what you think in the comments section. Also, click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this. See you in the next one.